Hello, Lions. Those of you that are on, welcome to another episode of the Zoom Marketing Cafe. My name is, those of you that don't know me, my name's Natalie Rivera. I'm from the Los Angeles Host Lions Club. We're one of the oldest in California. We're 106. We turned 106 in September. So, I'm, really thrilled to have everybody that is on here today. We have a lot packed in for today. We have let's see, we have marketing tools, a lot of marketing tools. So let's settle in with coffee, tea, water, whatever you prefer. I have my little iced coffee here. And let's get started. To kick things off, I'm gonna ref introduce you to our host, Linda Birch. She's my marketing partner and for all two now. She's from Soul Alliance Club. Linda not only, hosts and leads these sessions, but she has a wealth of marketing knowledge because that is what she does in her profession. And for Lions, she has a lot of resources. So go ahead, Linda.
Natalie, that is so nice of you to say. And hello, everyone. I am Linda Birch, and I'm very excited to see you all here again for our Zoom Marketing Cafe for Lions, where you get extra special tools and tips and techniques about to learn how you can grow your Lions Club using very simple tools. And we meet every second of the Sunday of the month. And we're just getting ready to do some really great subjects in the near future. So make sure that you sign up to be notified or to be on our mailing list for the next Zoom marketing session. And for today's cafe, I want to tell you, before I go there, Natalie, would you be so kind as to put up the agenda? And specifically, I'm looking for, or do you want me to do that?
I could do it. I have it.
Okay. Because next to it, I want to remind everyone attending about the Lions Club International Marketing Contest. The closing date for submission is February 1. So that means you're going to want to get your market plan or your competitive entry put together and ready to go. So I've covered this before in a little bit more detail, and I have more links to share. If you have any questions or if you want to share your ideas for your club marketing, please, send it to me. I'm happy to share what I would really like to see someone from California, one of our clubs, win that contest this year. So let's do that. So now for today's cafe, what I'm thrilled to welcome one of my very favorite Lions in the entire organization is past District Governor Lion Manny Sanchez. And he holds everything together, I think, for our district and for the state of California. He does so many things, and he also coordinates everything Lions related for the Rose Parade, and he's even coordinating a wider float decorating strategy. He is an expert in many different ways. So, Manny, thank you so much, and let's have you take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. What we'll do is definitely, I believe I have three topics to talk about. And so the first one we're going to talk about is the Lions Float. And some background about this, it did start as a marketing piece. And as a marketing piece, it was developed as a Lions awareness. In fact, if you go to our website and you go to About Lions, you'll talk about our mission as a foundation. And we created this foundation not just to decorate, but to get the Lions emblem out there all, as much as we can. It evolved into the international president visiting us every year, and it's now part of the International Master Marketing Plan. So that's one of the fun parts about this. We do apply for funding from them from multiple sources, but the exciting piece is how much they're embracing, and we're working directly with the marketing division with LCI. As you know, or you may not know, is that there are different marketing divisions within LCI. Each one has it. There's the master one that you see on the the main portal, but then you have some sub ones. For instance, LCIF has their own marketing team, membership has their own marketing team, leadership has their own. So depending on the subject, you may want to find out which team that you want to do and tie your projects or membership or whatever into this. So our float has evolved from being the just a marketing piece to a whole global action team project where we are doing service. As last year, we had over 1,400 Lions, families and friends sign up to decorate. We had, again, the international president. We had people from all over the world come to decorate. And we've expanded where we're actually decorating as a service project to almost all the floats in the pavilion. With that said, we're now adding in membership into this marketing plan so that you bring a friend, bring a neighbor, bring somebody who would love to be part of this excitement to come in and do a service project and learn from the basics of what we do from this. And that's why we have moved into more of the global action team. And obviously the leadership part is being able to coordinate and get your people there, whether you're going to be supporting us through social media, whether you're going to be moving on to other pieces, but it's done it. I will tell you the numbers. Per streaming number, we have 1.5 million people per channel that watch this parade for one day. But now here's the big kicker. As for social media impressions, 3.5 billion that we have as this. So we have a lot of things. And so what we do, and I'm going to share our website, our strategy is just to get the basic information out there and just talk about what we do. So we always we have ambassadors that go out and talk about what we do here, but we also have our decorating, which is probably the most important, to go in here and to look at the schedule and decorate. And we tell people, bring a friend, bring a family member, bring somebody who would like to learn about service. And this is kind of a turnkey project. So we've gone out there and moved. We have other things that are up here, but all this evolves around the float itself. So let's talk about the actual float, and I'll go back to the homepage, and we scroll all the way down to the actual float. As in this year, all the time we pick a theme, and we're very surprised of what they come up with, and we negotiate what we do. So this time, the theme itself for the tournament was best day ever. And for us, we're celebrating a day of service. What better is it? We have the tie-in, we send it to LCI, we put it together. Then we had with these Lions, what do you do with them? And so now we have two things. We've named them. So the first one is Melvin, as in Melvin Jones. Then we got, what is it? We have Leo, we have Reggie, and then we have Helen right over here, the little lady. So we thought it was so cute. And on top of that, we have been given the rights to them. So now we're going to be pulling it apart, getting the trademarks going, and allowing Lions, we're going to put some rules together about how to use them in your projects. And I thought that was a great gift from what's in there. So it's a lot of teamwork that happens. The float itself is just one piece of a global marketing piece being seen in almost on all 200 countries. And like I said, we have the momentum going. We would love every club to take a part of it. This is their float. And that's what we always say. This is your float. This is how you do this. And again, strategically, we try to get into the multiple languages. We reach out, and our local KTLA, Channel 5, or the CW in other part of the states or the country, actually rebroadcast our interviews and talk about the float itself. This is one of the few times also that the international presidents meet for breakfast, all of them, just for us. So it's very important that we do this float every year, more to what marketing supports. So do I have any questions about the float itself or the projects or anything?
I did have one question, because you've evolved on this over the years, but what do you do now to manage your signups for the people that volunteer for the Lions floats? Well, for
Okay.
all the floats, actually. How are you managing that?
Okay, when we go up, we've done something very simple. We've created a link. And in this link, as you saw the decorating here, we've made it easy where it says decorating float sign up. Now, what we try to do, and you're gonna see a lot of social media coming up. It's more than just signing up. It's downloading the schedule, getting the waiver, and some of the decorating expectations out there. So what we try to is give you a tiny little toolkit right here about what it is. And we'll be giving more explanations via social media about what these all do. So when you decorate itself, you would click and you simply sign up, fill out all the information. We want to know who you are, how to get a hold of you, what club are you coming? Are you just a guest? It doesn't have to be Lions. It could be anybody. So in fact, believe it or not, the Rotarians lost slots for theirs because they got a smallest float like this, and they asked to sign up with us. And we said, sure, come in and sign up. Where are you traveling from? So at least we can highlight where you're coming from because we do get people from out of the state and out of the country. Who's your lead if you're a group? So we know who the point person is, their contact, and then the amount of group because we didn't want to take up a lot of space. And then just basic contact, which one you want to send. So we used Google Form for this.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh, it's very good.
quick. Yeah, so we just made a simple thing of just click, click, click. And on the admin side of it, since I think I'm looking at this on there, I will show you the back end of this. The difference is that when you're on the Google form, you got the questions, response, and settings. So I can go in here or share with like Larry Wehej, PDG Larry Wehej, who's in charge of floats, and he can take a look at it saying who's coming in today and make a quick printout. And we try to keep it simple. Is
Yeah.
really simplicity is the best.
I,
So
I
that's how we do it. Any other
very good.
questions?
No, that I was curious if there was anything special, but this is perfect.
Yeah. The easiest, simple's better, and we didn't have to pay for it. And one of the nice things too is that we can send out admin on one address and signups on another, so that we're not cross-populating it, and only the key people can get in and make changes where other people can't. So that's how we handle this. The other events that happen on a marketing level is the reception. And the nice thing about this reception that's happening on December 29th, those flyers are being circulated as we speak. And you're more than welcome to take our information and rebrand it the way you want it. Especially if you want to brand it to your own club, you want to rebrand it for your district. We always say go for it. Just keep the information the same, as in when, why, where, and how. But the
I
background could be changed. So
and
yes, you had a question?
we have one question here from Dave Kaplow already.
Sure.
Hi, Lion Manny. It's Lion Dave.
How you
Sorry, I
doing?
can't. I'm struggling to turn my video on the phone. So, I have a question about how you're capturing leads from these, millions and millions of impressions, and how we're converting those people into members. Like, what should our strategy be around that?
Very simple. If you go into our membership toolkits, and I can segue if that's you want me to segue to
Yeah.
our international website. Okay, let me go to that.
Oh, sure.
Or
Yeah, I'm gonna segue over to this, and you made a great question about leads. One of the things you have to think about, again, is that if you're familiar, there are toolkits for everything. For everything. So if you did marketing, you could see, look at all the toolkits.
Hmm.
And you would go to the guides, and you would go into the club marketing or some of the other ones. But then under membership, they have their own toolkit. And let's see if I can find it. Toolbox. Or so let's see. I think this is the right one. I'll have to double check. Key event programming toolbox. Yeah. So it's actually this one, Global Membership Teamwork and Toolbox.
Hmm.
And you will have some good examples about taking a recruitment list. Some of the new membership orientations, I forgot which one exactly it is. I think it's the extension. But you will be able to come up, or you can develop your own questionnaire come up with your own talking points of why to be a lion or why do service. In fact, I've used AI for that as well, where I'll give it specifics going, what particular service project would you like to do? And I will give you a tip. I was able to train in Orlando last year, which was all the membership chairs and stuff were membership and extension. One thing that they did is they're changing their marketing saying, we're not just a need, but we're an asset. So they're now trying to pull it to asset. We are enhancing their world. How can we be collaborative? How can we be a great asset to where they're at? So I would suggest that you come up with a form that you're comfortable with of capturing that information, saying, hey, we're interested of you coming, we have more projects to do. That's how our club in Montebello is very successful because we probably have about 70 projects throughout the year. And we say, come to any of them. You don't have to come to all of them. Just come to some of them and help out wherever you can.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I would suggest that you make it comfortable for you of questions to ask to the person. I hope that helps answer that.
Yeah. I guess a more tailored question is, so we're investing a lot of effort into the float, and it gets us a lot of impressions on social and stuff. Is there any program that is float related, like the float team that is creating social posts for us to share or anything like that?
We do have a marketing person that's in charge of the float. That's Mandy Daniels, PDG Mandy Daniels.
Okay.
And she's trying to get a team together to do that. And we have other people, and more than welcome to reach out to her and become on the team with this. And I just wanted to say, I know in part of your question earlier, where do we get our information? A lot of that is actually from the tournament itself. In fact, I'll be honest, it is from the tournament. When they do their reports, we get a copy of it. And LCI is also tracking it in their paid, what do you call it, inquiries for this. So they're looking at the matrix too.
So I'm basically asking, like, how do we leverage this across the state? I'm in Northern California, and, not that many people come down, like my district governor, I probably will, and a few other people. But is there a way to, like, amplify this through all the marketing leads in each district so they have what Mandy wants to do? And so the day before, we're promoting it on our socials, all the clubs are trying to do it. And then the day of, we're telling them where to see it. And then the day of, once it's recorded, because I think it shows up on some stations, but sometimes the float gets missed up here. We don't necessarily see it. They break away or whatever. But there's video for it. I know that.
Right.
And you're the expert there.
Yeah.
And if we could get all that, we could get a really cool marketing program together across all the districts.
Yes. In fact, that's one of the things we've been pushing year after year is that voting, it gets a little deeper than what I'm about to say. I mean, in a fun way. You don't have to be on the Zoom call as a voting member. It's an open Zoom call. Just get a hold of Elisa Coyle and ask to be on the list to be a part of it. Again, they're not all voting members. People think, oh, this is a board meeting. It says, yeah, but our board meetings are completely transparent and open. We're really, really trying to get the districts involved into this. And it's been that way since the very beginning, since 1991, when this was kicked in again, of just saying, hey, this is your float. This is your float. And you use it the way you want it for your district or your club.
Got it.
So being able to be on the call, getting some feedback, asking it. The only difference of anybody else that's not a part of the board is they're the only ones that can raise their hand and say yes or no. But other than that, that's it. We're all transparent. We're pretty much all the same.
Okay, thank you. That's great. I really appreciate the answer.
Yeah, and then just if you know people who are like-minded, that's the whole point of Lions, like-minded people, get them together and start running with it.
That's great.
So that's why we're kind of excited with the little icons and the little lions, because these are some tools that we can run with.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so I popped up the Tournament of Roses right here. And when you go into the tournament, and this is just a sample of marketing, you go into, I believe it is, let me just check, more. Under more is right here under media resources. Now, the nice thing is when you go into the media resources for the tournament on a bigger picture, you got more things to talk about. And one of the nice things that I love to do is the press releases, social impact that's here, and coming up, and I'm looking for it. Oh, right here, the stats. The stats are probably one of the best things that I like to do because it tells you it's a multi-page thing, and look at the impressions that we get on there. Now, what I said in 3.5 billion, you know, that's because we've had some, like the halftime people, the people that do the halftime shows, and some of the big corporates are scanning simultaneously than what we are, or the tournament's doing. We being international, tournament being the Tournament of Roses. And so they're coming up with all these stats that you can use. I mean, look at the value right here of us being part of that. Can you imagine dollar for dollar the pennies it costs for us? It's $133,000 and we're the cheapest float. But the pennies for that, you can't even buy airtime for that. Not even 30 seconds, 10 seconds. But for us to be here, it's just pennies. And that's how we sell it every year, saying, where are you going to get that global coverage of our emblem? This year, oh, the other thing this year is that our vest will have the Lions emblem on the back, our vests, our Lions. So people see the gold vest and they still don't know what it is. As a Lion, we know. But just like acronyms, we can't assume the other person knows what's going on. So that's that piece there. Now that I went into the Lions site, a little bit of tips they talked about was, what about training? Now, again, training right here gives you a lot of stuff that you can access to. And the one that we like to do is, like I said, right here. I mean, you got your club marketing guide, but Lions leadership. And the way to get that is to log into the portal. And I tell people, if you can't log in, have a class. Do this as a workshop to get everyone to log in. And you go into the portal itself. Once you're in the portal, you go into Learn. Now, mine's going to show up a little bit differently because I'm an administrator. But the best thing to do, let me just check something. Oh, hey, guess what? I just found out our I
Is this,
um
sorry,
huh?
is there something
Oh
happening
yeah.
right now that you're
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
attend?
No, I'm good. No, I'll sh okay, let me show you right off the bat.
Like,
Right here is our California Institutes. Now that I see this pop up, uh this means that we have been approved for our local institutes coming up. Except they got one of the spellings wrong. This one's supposed to be Emerging Lions, not regional. So I'll have to get that. But anyway, that's why I pause. Like, why do we have two? We have one. But anyway, these institutes are available for you to take as Alliance, and I always recommend to take it. The regional and the emerging are great institutes, especially if you're going to do it because we have public speaking in there. We have time management. All those classes that you do as a public information officer or public relations officers are in there. And they're a great tool. In fact, I will segue real quick. And if you type in Institute, this will explain that we have the emerging and the regional. I'll have to change that to Emerging Lions. Emerging Lions were actually developed for pre-president of a club, if you didn't know that. Whereas regional is if you have a little more experience. But you can take both or one or the other. It doesn't matter. But these are nice. And this year in our emerging, we're going to have Leos. So this is the first time we're going to do that. So the regional comes up in January in Sacramento. The emerging will be in March, just like what we do in Anaheim across from Disneyland. So These are opportunities there. So let me go back to my first point. If you go into the Lions Learning Center, and any Lion can get into this, as long as you get into the portal, click there. And as you get this going and log in, you will have your Lions Learning Center. And what you want to do is talk about library content right here on the left. And these are all the classes that are available for you to take. And you'll be amazed on it. And you just keep scrolling and scrolling. And even if you get to the bottom like this, keep going. It comes up. You see how it keeps popping up? And there's a lot of things like communication skills. Even if it's for governors, you can do it. Coaching. There's so many techniques in here. And I always encourage this, even at our district meeting, that we talk about this. Effective listening, being an effective team. I keep going down. You'll see it more. Now, you'll see that I have some stuff in English and in Spanish because I have my settings to that. But people from any language can get that set up to do this. And so you just keep going. EN means like English. ES means Spanish. How to do this virtual live training. So there's a lot of tools in here to enhance your skills, to go forward. And I recommend to take them all because it is an opportunity to learn, to get ready, and to be able to tackle things that you didn't even think of. So questions about the learning?
Dave has another question.
Sure. Is he,
I
Dave, are
thought
you?
he had said up
All
his.
right, I had to unmute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no
Hey,
worries.
so I'm gonna put a challenge to my peer Jennifer Simpson, because she's so good at selling all of the Lions float tickets. I think she's up to over 200 of them. Um, we're in my district going to really leverage the regional learning institute this time, and we're trying to get 15 people to go.
All right.
And I'm personally calling people I would like to be in leadership in my year or beyond me to go and get trained. And they
Mm-hmm.
tend to be younger, like in their 30s, and they're working.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I tell them that I really wish I could go through this kind of training, or I could have when I was working.
Mhm.
And I didn't have it. I worked for really big companies like Apple and stuff. We didn't have any of this.
Right.
So this is a really great benefit for anybody who is still working. And, you're getting them connected to Lions in a bigger way. And so we're trying. I think we've got around 8 of them so far that said yes.
Good. Yeah, to get them to engage, to learn in many different ways. There is no, in fact, one of the fun things that I've told people, for me, no means yes. And so, so moving forward, this is upper level. Well, this is, I guess, management techniques to say quite honestly, and it's a lot of fun. And taking advantage of this portal and getting in here and learning. And the nice thing about the portal itself that makes it exciting is that all of this is recorded in your transcripts. You have transcripts that are available. Let me see if I can make an example of that. Let me go back into Learn, relog in. Here we go. In here, you have I believe this is achievements right here. And these are some of the courses I've taken. And so these are just a sample of some of the stuff that I've taken over some of the time of here. And I have more, but the system purged it. But that's okay. The fun part about this is that you have the opportunity of taking it with your transcripts. And actually, when you go to USA Canada or you excel and go into the next levels of training, because if you go to the institutes, I believe, yeah, if you go into the institutes, you'll have from this level, you'll have an opportunity to be a faculty development where you're skilled to be able to present in front of people, to be the techniques to facilitate in-person instruction, and then the official instructor program, which is the certified instructor program or LSIP. These are opportunities of you growing as an instructor for Lions. And so it's a lot of fun to see what's happening, and things are always in development. We used to have the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute, and if you can see, it's now being incorporated into the second Vice District Governor program. There's a lot of stuff that's happening, lots of changes, but it's exciting to see. Please learn. And I always tell, if someone says no, just remind them of our Constitution and bylaws, that in our code of ethics, you're supposed to help. You are supposed to. There's really how. So those are some fun things to think about. So with that said, I think.
Wait,
Oh,
Jennifer Simpson has a question for you.
okay, Jennifer.
So I already took the Leadership Institute training. So what's the next step? Because I didn't really, well, like now you have it up here, but it was like impossible for me to find out in order what the steps were of taking training. Because if there's training available, I mean, if I gotta fly out to Rome or whatever, I'm gonna make it happen. I just don't know where to go or where to even find the training of what my next step would be and where's the next one located for me to sign up?
Okay, so you can see that these are our order, and there's two ways of doing it. If you type in MD for Lions, which is everyone familiar? California has two websites. So we have the MD for Lions, which is our administrative site. And in here under training, right here, we have when, where, and why our institutes are coming up in California. And what we try to do is we try to get these will actually have links tomorrow. In fact, this one is actually working. Let's see, Emerging Lions. Oh, no, that's just an info. I'll find out. The links should be active tomorrow, but you can go in here and sign up for these particular institutes and be able to participate. The other way is back to where I showed you, where you log into the learning portal. And tomorrow I'll get this fixed. When you go into the learn, just like anything else, and you scroll down, this certified instructor program is available now, coming up, and the due date is, I got to answer that one question. Huh? And then our local institutes, which is what we're doing. So these are the local ones, like you said, which will actually end up talking about the same thing about getting a hold of me for the different institutes that are available. So,
Do they need to be in a certain order to be taken, like a prerequisite?
Nope. And the other thing too is when you go back to here and you take any of these, because you could take one or the other or any combo, the Leos are for the Leos. When you go into taking these, plus you are out there participating and learning or stuff, then you sign up for the faculty development. So basically, if you could see, it's these core plus this, plus what you learn in the portal will get you to this, and then eventually over to the certified instructor program. I hope that was helpful.
So I do need to do those smaller ones to do the FDI and the certified instructor.
Right. Certified instructor is the very last.
Okay.
Yes, but most of the time you do need to do this before you go here. Sometimes they skip, and it's because the reason that you can skip is because you can prove you trained without even taking these classes. You can train courses without being any of these classes. If you find yourself a subject matter expert on conflict resolutions or any of the topics up there, do it. The key is to tie into your global leadership chair of your district and make sure they record it with the students that are in there. And once you have that going and you have that out there, that's what LCI is looking at. So there is a level of reporting in there. You just got to bug your GLT to actually put it into the system. So that's the critical piece there. on there. So that'll allow you to do it. But we tell people if you have a passion to teach like marketing or graphics, teach it. Share. We need skill sets, be thinking out of the box. So these are things to do it. So any other questions on the learn part and the website?
Manny, can I add as a
Sure.
as an RLLI graduate? If anyone's thinking about, I didn't take to anybody, I didn't take the emerging lines, but I took the regional lines. So if you're thinking about it, um, do it. It's a very good learning experience. Not only do you learn all of your, it's not just about lines, but you're learning much, much more. Um, I did take I use it, whatever I learned, I use it both in my Lions world, and then I use it in as a substitute teacher. So the conflict resolution, the time management, all of that. So if you're thinking about it, do it. It's only gonna make your club stronger. Sorry about that. Too much coffee. Your club stronger. So go ahead and do it. If you have any more questions, Manny's like the go-to guy. You know.
Yeah,
Sam Weitzman has that question for Manny.
Yeah, I just was curious as to why the Alley course was actually canceled. Because actually, I think when I took the Alley course, I still didn't think I was going to run for district governor. I think it would be good to let people, instead of just limiting it to the people who have run for office, to let other people take the Alley course as well. It was an excellent course, and I
there
think.
was a pushback on that, and we couldn't win. But yeah, they felt that the content there, plus in putting on steroids, was important for the second vice district governors. But I'll be quite frank with it. Between the regional, the emerging, and the FDI, do it. Do it. Take it. Because Advance was kind of like in between regional and faculty development.
Mhm.
And they're very secret about the stuff. Once I get the links, I'm supposed to sign this and sign that and make sure it only goes to the instructors and
Right.
stuff like that. But it is an opportunity to do that. And you would just take it or whatever you could take. And you could take it over again too. If you kind of felt that you missed it, do it again, you know. So it's learn, and then share. I take this and on my Red Cross side, because I'm an instructor for Red Cross as well. It's a lot of the same courses, and it's a lot of fun. Okay.
All right, thank you, Manny.
All right. So we got to know. Okay, all right, Lydia.
I am a recurring regional learner. I did it about 2 or 3 times. I already lost count. One of the important things, Stan, as you go through your government portion is the money allocated for these kind of events. Our district allocates $200 to help the participants, but there is only a limit. You mentioned that you want to send about 8 people. So if you are allocating some money, that's great. Some districts help with only 100. Sometimes clubs help also to send out members. They will also help with certain amount of money. The drawback for some individuals that work is that it's on Friday, and Manny knows about this because some individuals come either try to come late or we have to take off from work, and it gets a little bit difficult for them. So I would recommend plan for this event. Take your holidays, take your vacation time, your PTO, whatever, for that specific Friday that you need to be there. So I flew all the way to Ontario, Canada to do my FDI, and I had the time of my life, and I paid it myself. Everything is myself, I pay. And I really, really loved it. So encourage everybody, take it. It's fun. is and do it again. I probably go again because I just have fun on it, So that was my suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you. And was it Angela?
Yes. Well, I have been to regional. I don't think I ever did emerging, but I was at Ali Grand Finale, which happened in this past January. Now, I mean, because of that wonderful time of learning, I decided to go ahead. I'm not getting any younger, so I decided to go ahead and I'm planning to run for second vice district governor. Will I be repeating the same courses in my training?
No. Each one's different. They're,
So
they
it
may
won't be
they
the
look
same thing.
familiar. They may feel
Mhm.
familiar, but they're different.
Okay. All
So
right.
if you take emerging, you want to try it just to get your feet wet in emerging. In fact, sometimes the stuff we have in emerging is a little more, it has a different spin than regional. When you go for faculty, the same thing. But I really do recommend everybody go into the Learn portal to get going. And honestly, there is a certain level you can't get your master's or your doctorate without going through certain classes in the portal. So you want to look at that for USA
So
Canada.
you mean, are you meaning through Lions University?
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
my bachelor's.
Yeah. And they're
Okay.
always different. Just remember, they're two different groups. But somehow university looks at LCI, LCI doesn't look at university because it's a different foundation.
Mhm.
Uh, so that's kind of why because people come to me going, I taught over there and I'm not getting credit. And I said, that's an internal thing. They're working that out. There'll be something in the future on that, but that's in the plans. So congratulations and keep going. And please, I can't tell you that there's a toolkit for everything in that website. So when you want to take it, if you're thinking of running for second vice, there's a course in there in that portal. If you want to get to the toolkit, go all the way up. So have fun with it. So I think, how am I with time?
You're still great for time because,
Okay.
and now returning to that subject that I'm so excited about that you're an expert on, the hybrid meetings, how you do them both inline and online and in person.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
get
so let me just pull something up because I had a fun exercise. And let me see if I can find it regarding hybrid. And let's go into my drive. Let me do a search. Um, okay, here it is. So I I did a fun thing, and I'll share this with everybody about hybrids. And one of the things I did was I did an AI search of how to do one. And I actually got a little deeper than what I'm about to show you. But the idea of this was what are some of the tips for a hybrid Zoom meeting? And it says designate a moderator, consider video options, ensure equal speaking time, an agenda, preventing in-person domination, which means that someone's in the room, you want to also say that, hey, we're on a time schedule too, because some people like to dominate a meeting. Ask for feedback, define the goals, why you're there. These are the points we're going to hit today. Encourage participation, maybe some exercises that are fun. There's some fun online combination in-person stuff that I've done with different multi-app tools to just have fun with people. Besides that, review talking points. I love about talking points because it takes a topic and it breaks it down to what we do. In fact, I have some for the float. I have some for LCI, for the GLT. Talking points are important. Identify your needs for setup. That's really good in how that's done because you may say, hey, number one thing, is there Wi-Fi? So, is there power?
yeah.
Is there a screen? People are like, oh, Really? I went to a convention and we got to bring screens. Yes, you do. Because I'll tell you quite honestly, it can run anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for screen and projector at a hotel. So having that set up is important. Headphones, which are good because you want someone to be monitoring the system, muting yourself and raising your hands both on virtual and in person. So with that said, let me pop over to my social media. And last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the Council of Governors. And that was the entire council plus in person and some virtual. And the fun part was that we had let me pop this up. We had second International Vice President Mark Lyon, and everyone got to participate in this virtual meeting. And as you could see in the background, they were viewing this setup. And look at all the people that were online. There was a lot of people online asking questions, which was a lot of fun. The setup, it doesn't have to be this elaborate. The reason I did this was, first of all, the most important was there a projector and a screen. That way, everyone saw what's doing it. When I do training, I do exactly the same thing. I take the video and I put it up there. So what I do is I dedicate, you see this little put, just for stuff that's going on the screen. And everything else in here is really just administrating. So I usually can do this with 2 laptops. That way, one's being done for the screen. And here, what we did was we broke it down, and I'll do my little techie geeky thing, is that we also had another computer over here that had all the PowerPoints. So what we're doing is watching the chat, registration on this computer, content was done here, and supplemental material was done here. The next thing that we did, and I'm gonna have to go to another slides on, you can go to my Facebook to do this, but what we did was we had this little owl that was running. That way, this little guy does 360 degrees. Now, it's not cheap. It's about $900 to $1,000, but I could tell you this, it's worth every penny because you can set this up and it does 360 degrees, not just video, but audio, and it has a built-in speaker. So you, in a room like this, that you may have 20, 30 people, it's perfect. It actually has a capability of being plugged into a bigger speaker, and you can actually put 2 together if it's a big room facilitating a large group. But in this world, we have to do it. Next year, we might not even do this because it may be 100% online and it may not be a hybrid, but we'll see what's happening. So this little tool is really good, and I'll explain this with a short video that I will first get out of because I got to make sure the audio is linked in so that you can hear it. That's done there. And this little owl, it's really cool. So let's listen.
Here's a view of what a typical meeting experience looks like. The camera is at the front of the room and my colleagues are looking at me as I'm speaking, making it harder for remote participants to see their faces and what's going on. If I turn to speak to someone else, my face is no longer visible. They feel less included and like they're watching the meeting instead of participating in it. If I stand up and walk to the far side of the room to give a presentation, it is even harder to see me. Here's what a meeting looks like using the Meeting Owl 3. It shows a 360 panoramic strip at the top and automatically focuses on who's speaking in the room so remote participants can see a more face-to-face view.
The Meeting Owl 3 is an all-in-one 360-degree camera, speaker, and microphone device. It's powered by the Owl Intelligence System, which uses robotics and AI to automatically focus on whoever is speaking. There is a 1080p patented 360-degree camera fisheye lens for a clear view of the room. There is an intelligent 8 microphone array with smarts to equalize the speaker volume for the remote participants. There are 3 built-in speakers for clear sound reproduction in any environment, and the best part is that it is plug and play. It works with virtually any web-based video platform such as Zoom, Meet, Teams, and BlueJeans.
So that little tool takes the heartache out of doing a meeting. The issue comes is that I've done this before, and it does look like the first example where they're very far away, where I've done laptops in a simple world, where I guess the cheap way to do this is using the little webcams. and having it on a podium from the laptop, or using the laptop podium, and then having another one. And I think, Linda, you guys did that in Pasadena where they had multiple laptops running so you can get multiple views simultaneously. That's the inexpensive way. This one is a little more harder to deal with in the sense of costs, but it is so well worth it. Maybe you can get 2 clubs or 3 clubs to chip in to get it. But we do that. The state did that, as in having one for the north and having one for the south for the multiple. But it allows you to do this. And one of the things that you keep in mind is really the agenda. That's the key part of all this. Doesn't matter what the technology is. I've done many different flavors of technology, but having a clear agenda, having a good facilitator that, like I said, you don't want people to dominate the meeting, but you want it to be very much collaborative. And then putting it out there of getting people engaged to ask some relevant questions so that we can kind of get that, oh, I didn't think of that attitude. So, because there's a lot of that, I'll always hear me say, but that aha, it's like aha. But those are things that you want to achieve and to move forward. So being a hybrid is good. In fact, I came out with a new paper that I could share. Juanita's sharing it about the benefits of having not just a virtual club, but a hybrid club, where you design this, that there are going to be some people who are so used to owls, especially because of COVID, in a very middle age range, because they do it for work, that are more comfortable doing a hybrid, not a virtual, because there are going to be some people that want to be in there, meet club. So I see this moving to more of a hybrid than virtual in a lot of cases. And being able to set up and having a very simple room, projector, screen, a laptop for the projection, another one maybe for the content person if you can't afford this system, another laptop. So it's basically using the laptop's position correctly in the room. If you can't afford this camera, will do good. The last key, only the computer that has the projection and Zoom has the speaker on and the microphone on. Because if you don't, you're going to have feedback throughout the room. And I have another piece about feedback. I actually have a tips on that as a PDF. Any questions?
Yeah, I just would you clarify what you just said about is just only one computer, or did you say owning, or what did you say about the,
Okay. So the source, again, for us, as for 2 things, for technology and for reference as a participant, should have one source in the room. In the sense, you're looking at the person up on the screen. That laptop should be the key point of this, where the speaker source is coming from and the microphone, because the people at the other end want that same perspective. So you really want to do that. Now you can go more and put microphones all over. That's up to you. But in the simplest way, you're thinking about psychological perspective of you in the room and the people viewing it. So anybody else with laptops in the room, make sure their mics are off and make sure their speakers are off, so that you got a clear thing. Because if you keep it one or the other on, you will get some feedback in the room. And that's that high whiny tone that's irritating. It's kind of like getting your dental work done slowly. So that's just one of the technical tips. It's what makes the beauty of this little guy and why it is expensive is the 360. Plus, it has technology that actually filters that out. Zoom itself also does it as well. It's just when you get laptops or cell phones next to each other, it's when it can't filter those out.
How do you keep that people engaged with a hybrid when it's one thing when they're in person, but when you have people in there and you want to do activities and things to keep them engaged, how do you do that? Because I find that the ones that sometimes opt to be there virtually, I can't keep their attention. They're doing multiple things in the background. And
okay, so one of the key things for activities is finding an online activity tool on an app. There are quite a few of those out, especially in the classrooms where they come and do the app, because it's sometimes a little hard even for Zoom to do an exercise on Zoom. So when you get a third-party app for exercises, no matter what, whether it's a quiz, whether it's, some kind of a game, there's a lot of free ones out there that you can get everyone to log in and kind of do their questionnaire answers or whatever you want to do, whatever activity together, because it allows the people in the room to be engaged to the people who are online. And it's a third party thing. That way you don't have to worry about the technology and putting it up on the screen. You're getting results from the actual app. In fact, sometimes what we'll do is we'll have another laptop in there who's actually the moderator to the activity itself. And it becomes a very good in there. Just keep in mind that sometimes, you have to be sensitive to who's online. If some people have seen us do even the recent first and second vice district governor training, we had people from Hawaii online, and we did exactly what this was. So, and the cool thing is that we designated a laptop with a camera and we put it on the desk for the group participation. So that person was actually participating at the tabletop level simultaneously when the big group was on there on the screen. So that person was able to feel in Hawaii like they were part of the little tabletop discussion. And then we moved it to the bigger one. So there's all kinds of techniques to do this. You just got to be a little creative and kind of plot it all out. Any other questions?
Oh, this was a quick one. So, in terms of screens at our club, we've been debating about, we're thinking we could get an inexpensive 45-inch TV at this point and, use that for a screen, because where we meet there's, you could do a projection screen, but it can be daylight and sometimes that just doesn't work. We can't darken the room. So a TV would be good, but we find that there's so little storage space. So I'm going to have, which, and what, and we looked at it, we just decided, we'll bring in the TV. But we can't be the only people that do this. There must be trade shows. Do you have any kind of suggestions for the best way to make it so it's not so hard for, to drop your TV or whatever, or to carry it back and forth for a mobile screen? That would be the best.
Okay, so TVs are limited to the size of, say that you're the car and safety and breaking the thing. When you get into a smaller size, then you may want to get multiple screens. I just did in fact, I could find it. If you saw my posting, there it is. Let me see if I can get to it.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days ago, I was on the Queen Mary, and I had a great opportunity, because what was going to happen is that we're going to have our convention in 2026 on the Queen Mary, and I needed to know the technical stuff that's in there. So let me just pop over to my social media site and notice the screens right here. So the smaller the screens, the more we put up. Oh, not there. But what we had to do is come up with these screens, and we had more screens around it. So you can see these had stands that are in here, and there are some that are very inexpensive for stands that you could put up, and there are actually boxes to put 45-inch or things. Just keep in mind that the smaller the screen and the bigger the room, you may need one or two of them, and the splitter, the HDMI splitter, is very inexpensive. There's probably about $50.
You get an HD splitter?
For a splitter for HDMI cables.
Okay.
And then and also just keep in mind safety, that probably without any amplification, 25 feet are there, but there's other technologies that I could tell you about. But there are ways of actually getting the content split between multiple screens very inexpensively, so that you get a good presentation without putting up projections. And I agree with you, sunlight is terrible for projectors.
Okay, so on this one, then you would have, so say we have the owl, but you could have the televisions off so you're not getting feedback. Would that be the right way to go?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you make sure all other sounds volumes down. And then you project what's coming from the laptop, the Zoom, onto these screens. So you would take it out. There's a whole little flow chart that makes it real easy. There's a lot of tools too. If you Google hybrid, setups, you will find multiple formats. I'm so used to it that I just do it by heart, but to have something in your hand saying, okay, I got 1, 2, and 3, or you're welcome to ask me your scenario. But there are little tidbits that are needed to get this done, and it's not very expensive. I know these, what is it? Black Friday's coming up, and they're going to be cheap. I always say, hey, if you can get it with a cover or something, because they have them now for patio covers for those people that put them out in the rain. But they do have them for patios that covers, and they have some nice secured shipping boxes for these if you're going to put them somewhere and you don't want the facilities that kick them in, which I've seen them happen. Nothing better than a good foot in the screen that you go, oops. So those are just some tips about doing hybrids. Any other questions?
Well, if there are no other questions, I want everyone to thank PDG Manny Sanchez for all of the work that he does and all the information he just provided. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Manny.
Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.
And I'm going to remind everyone, please do a marketing contest submission to LCI. Have that prepped and ready to go by the end of January, please. So do we have any other questions at all? Any other comments?
Can you expand on the marketing contest for MD4 or
Oh,
LCI?
yes. I would love to. I'm going to share my screen. Or let me pull up my let me think. Let me pull up my presentation from an earlier presentation. So let me go up here. But because it also has the links. There you go. Zoom Marketing Cafe, November 24th. And here we go. The LCI Club Marketing Contest. So let's present. I'm going to make it big, present full screen. And I'm going to come over here, present. Okay, and all right. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the LCI Club Marketing Contest is something that Lions Club they provide $2,000 cash award for winning clubs. You get a trophy and you get a downloadable certificate per club to print for each member. And you get bragging rights forever because I think it would be great to win one of these awards. I would just do it for the winning, but you also would get $2,000. And it looks like you have to apply by February. Oops, I meant to go back here. You have to apply by February 1, 2025. And so that means that kind of to be able to advertise and get some measurable results, you really want to be doing your campaign right now. So then you can be able to say, this was our goal. This is how we executed it. And these were the results. How many members we received or how many impressions we received. That's exactly. And you can get a sense by seeing who last year's winners were. Let me see. Oops. Let me see. Oh. So on this one, you can look at last year's winners, which are available on the Lions Club's international website, and you can see who won. And what it really looks like is I think they do one for the United States and one for a couple of other places around the world. And last year, I looked at the one who won, and no disrespect, but it was a club in Oregon or Washington, and it was totally any of us could beat that club. And I swear, I think this is a little known secret. So I'm all for just going in, designing something. So there are rules and regulations, which I'll share with you all in the follow-up email. I will have frequently asked questions. LCI Marketing Matters webpage. They have marketing campaign planners here, and there's an application worksheet. So for instance, one thing that we're planning to do for my club is so for instance, we'll say we want, our goal was to gain 10 or 15 prospects, on a particular campaign. and from that convert maybe 5 members. That would be a little high, but say we say 20 projects. And how we accomplish that would be how would you advertise it? Would be the execution. So one of the things that we've been doing as a club, talking about that, is we want to do a friend-raiser. Friend-raisers are not to be confused with fundraisers. It's about getting friends. And so we are going to be doing a casino bus run down from from the LA area down to near San Diego to Harrah's Resorts. And people can either gamble or they have a spa there. They have shopping. They have lots of things to do for several hours. So it's a day trip there and back. And we've arranged it so it's only like a $15 donation to our foundation. And that lets us also take people on the bus, which has very nice TV screens. And we get to put up videos about our club and what we do. And we'll be singing and we're having karaoke songs on the way down and back. And so that is just a lot. That's just something to have fun. And how we're advertising that is through social media. We're listing it on online community calendars. We're partnering with people. And I am certain we're going to get more than 50 prospects out of that campaign. And from that, I'm hoping to get some prospects. But from that kind of campaign planning, I know that I'll have the data that I'll be able to say, this is how we'd advertise it. These were the numbers. These were the results. And I'm going to do it in enough time so I can just get it in by February 1. And I'll have great pictures. And I'm hoping we win. But I'm also hoping if we don't win, that one of you win, because your idea is even better than our idea. So, all right. So this is the Lions International Marketing Award that they do. And on this one, it was like they did it. So if you go to the Lions website, it will have this information there with all the rules and regulations. It'll give a campaign planner to you. It will give you everything. Here they showed the 2023 winners that I looked at, and I was just like, oh, we could do that. So no disrespect to Olympia House Lions Club, District 19N, but they did a social media marketing campaign and booth setup, which was created to attract additional hands for service. And their goal was to gain 5 new members. The results were they gained 7 new members and 5 prospective members. And what they did was they basically did a few social media posts or took some pictures of them at the Lions thing. And for that, they won the award. And I'm telling you, we can do better than that. I swear. So let's go get that award, one of us, okay? And then we'll have a celebration. So I'll be workshopping early in January. What we'll be doing is we'll be comparing notes on because I believe that cooperation is the best. So I'll be sharing what we're going to present. You are welcome to come tell me what you're going to present. We can work on it together to compete it, because all I care about is that we win it here. So that's all. So that's there. And just go to LCI, the website, and you will see. Oh, there was more to it. I forgot. Oh yeah, these were the other ones from around the world. So it looked like they kind of broke up the awards there's one from Malaysia, and there's one from India, one from Australia, one from Nigeria. So they kind of go around the world. And so kind of explore what they do, and see what you can do. Some of them they would, you can do a bigger event, make it wider, which perhaps I'll end up doing. But I just want to make sure that you can be able to connect the dots, that this was the goal, this was the action, these are the numbers, these are the results. And that is my story.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. And zoom. Where am I? Okay.
Sharing the Zoom now.
Oh, I'm going to say stop share. And I'm hoping that we're providing you with excellent information for Lions, and that it helps you grow your own club. And I want to thank Natalie Rivera so much for her wonderful job facilitating facilitating our discussions. Oh, my website. Oh, I forgot. I didn't put up my last slide, but my own website URL is lindanetworks.com, and that's LINDANETWORKS.com. And the Zoom Marketing Cafe is at the very kind of at the top of that. And it is at the top of that. And there. All right, everyone. I hope you all are having a great weekend. And I wish you all a very happy Sunday and a wonderful week ahead. Okay?
And thank you, Veterans Day, for everybody.
Thank you. Oh, that's right. Thank you.
For all the veterans. Bye-bye, and thank you for all what you do, Linda. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.